viewers, welcome to our favorite show, the Parani Talk Show, and you're here with your favorite girl, Josella Anwote, the most beautiful, gorgeous, shortest girl in the Azande Kingdom. Today is a wonderful Sunday, and I'm so excited that we have a special guest in our room today, that we are going to discuss a very interesting topic that you wouldn't want to miss. Please don't move. If you're Zande, mujigo kurushi, mubishe kupachiro, come move ngoya, because this topic is a boom. In our room today, our guest is a son to our favorite and most reliable politician, the late Simon Bijigi. May his soul rest in eternal peace. His son is here with us today. We want to hear from him about some important issues that we are going to discuss today. His name is Franco Simon Bijigi. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's been long since I last saw you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm really pleased to be amongst you guys here today for this show.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for turning up. When I called you, I thought maybe you'll turn up since you're a very busy man, always behind the camera. Yes. I thought you're going to turn me down, but thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. You know, something about our community, you have to support it.
Yeah.
And I was very positive when you called me. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Please, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay, hello viewers. My name is Franco Simon Bijigi. As I had said earlier on, I'm very grateful to be amongst you here and looking forward to brainstorm about today's topic.
All right. Thank you so much, Tamba and Foro. Okay, today I want us to discuss something that is so important in our community. It is disturbing so many people, and that is to do with education. A few months ago, I had a discussion with two young ladies. We discussed about the girl-child education. We had a very nice conversation. So today I decided to bring you as a male. Probably you might have a different view about education, especially to the girl child. What would you say about our women, our girls being educated today, regardless of everything that is happening and how our society is built up? What would you say about women, young girls, being part of the ongoing education?
Okay, well, thank you very much for this topic. Mm-hmm. As you said, we are talking about education. What I will really say is, first and foremost, something I can say about education is it is very important. And we have two types of education. That I may say we have the informal education and the formal education. Yeah. And when it comes to the African settings, we normally first start with the informal education, whereby you're being parented from home with your parents. Okay, people who take care of you. That could be your parents, your guardians, or mentors. So these are people who build you up to be the kind of person they want you to be. Okay. Okay. This is now when it comes to the informal education. This is how I will define it. Mm-hmm. And then when you come to the formal education, I will look at it as where you go to an institution, a recognized institution. Exactly. And then you learn on a specific skill or knowledge to become a professional person into the particular field you're in. Yes, exactly.
Okay. That's what I can say. Yeah, that's a good thing. So when you talk about the informal education, that is basically the former traditional way of learning of the Africans. Yes. And basically it was done at home. You don't need to sit in a class, right? Yes. It is just your mom teaching you how to cook, waking up in the morning, sweeping. That is for the girls, and then for the boys.
Yeah, for the boys, perhaps your father will take you on hand when it comes to, let's take example of the Azande settings. You know, back in the days, the fathers used to go with their children for hunting down wild animals. You know, they also teach you how to take care of your siblings, because they know you're the next person, next of kin. You know, a male is really considered when it comes, for example, a male. You assume he's a caretaker, you know, all that, of his siblings, his sisters, and his mom. Likewise to the girls.
Okay. So do you think the informal education had a great impact on us, the youth, compared to how our education is now?
Yeah, to my observation, yes, it did. Because you realize certain things are not taught at school. you know, there are things where you're not taught at school, you are taught back from home.
Yeah.
You know, something like cooking, you will never get it at school. Maybe perhaps.
Yeah, that is the foundation.
Yeah, that's the
Even
foundation.
if you go to a cooking school, you must have the basic from home.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, informal education is really the foundation, as you've really stated, because it brings up a person. You know, when you go to different institutions, you realize that there are students, there are people who are learning, but you'll find they have different personalities because of the environment they come from.
Yeah.
So, informal education is really very important. It's the one that creates the uniqueness of our personalities.
That is true.
Yes.
Yeah. So to me, I'll put it in a way that even if someone decides to join the formal education, right? I think the first thing to learn is the informal education. It's more like the basic.
Yes.
It should be like part of someone before you would go to any formal education.
Sure.
So what would you say about the formal education, the current ongoing education?
Yeah, I must say the formal education has really done very great impact because there are certain things it has impacted. It has tried to help in so many ways. You know, going to school does not necessarily mean that you go to school to be maybe a wealthy person, you get a job and all that, but it helps in certain things. There are some cultural behaviors that are not really important. For example, they affect our way of life, you know, but unless when you go to school, you're taught maybe if you do certain kind of things, this is how we get these diseases. We sometimes, you know, get diseases through transmission, sexual intercourse, we do not know family planning.
Yeah.
You know, all these things we are taught at school.
Yeah, definitely.
So when it comes to the social life or the reproductive health of formal education, so it has really played a very big role. It has also helped people to interact, you know, when it comes to business and all that. You need to have some knowledge, you know, where you need to sit down, know how to balance books and here and there, which is not the case for informal education.
Okay, that is so true. So I wanted to ask you, why do you think most of our girls are not in school?
The reason as why most girls are not in school is because there are a number of factors. One is we still have some communities that think that girls really do not deserve to go to school because after all they are meant to produce, they are meant to stay at home.
Yeah, they are meant to be wise.
Yeah. Yes. So these are some of the cultural behaviors still in our society today that I think is number one factor leading to the girls being at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have some examples? That could be an example. Maybe you come from such a society.
Well, I'm not certain, but I've heard of communities in different places, not only in South Sudan, even in the Zandeland we have some, but in most of African countries, African settings, we have them.
Yeah.
In Uganda, there are certain tribes that still practice this habit, you know, in this 21st century. Yes.
Okay, that's a good factor. Yeah. Okay. If you ask me, it is true that most of the girls are not in school, especially here in South Sudan. And for so many reasons, they choose not to go to school. I've been to different schools, I've met with some girls and discussed with them, and you realize it is the saying that nobody has gone to school in our family. Females are meant to be married, like how you said. So why should I go to school? And then you see that some men actually, even when he marries a woman who's graduated, who is a schooled girl, he would still want her to stay home. So sometimes girls get biased. They feel like, no, there's no need to go to school since if I get married, blah, 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 he might say no and all that. And then the factors are, let me say, role model. For a girl to be educated, it shouldn't really be paying her to school and then telling her go to school. No.
True.
There has to be someone she looks up to.
True.
For example, I'm educated. Definitely my children, they would want to wear the same shoes I've worn. So I think every parent or whoever that is willing to sponsor a young girl to school should consider that.
Sure.
If you want someone to go to school, don't just chase them to school. Give them a reason to go to school. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Okay, we are going for a short break, and then when we'll be back, we'll continue with our program, and then we'll hear about the ways to curb this issue of our beautiful young ladies not being in school. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers, from our short break, and we are back, and we are still continuing with our hot and most beautiful gist. So, Franco,
Yes, please.
what do you think we can do to curb this gap of our young girls not being in school? It's a very big gap compared to the men. Most guys are in school, most boys are in school, but our girls, most of them have decided to stay home. We don't really know if it's because they just choose to or it's a condition. What do you think we can do about it?
Okay. Well, thank you once again about giving me this opportune moment to say something about this. Well, before I go into that, what I would really say is, women are the pillars in our community today. For every successful, for every successful family, community.
Just to cut it short, I always say women are power.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well stated. Because you see, one educated woman is equivalent to over 1,000 people.
That is so true. Yeah.
Well,
I'm glad it is coming from a man.
yeah. Because when women are not educated, it is a very big challenge. And how do we go about it, as you posed the question? One, I think this is something that needs to engage the community, representative, different people from the community, being it from the local leaders, church members, coming to different categories of the people within. Perhaps some politicians, maybe from the ministries, different ministries concerned, to address this issue, because this is something that needs a campaign awareness.
Yeah, that is true.
To tell people how important it is. So, there's a lot of rate of GBV today. It's affecting mostly the women.
Yeah.
And I come from one of the women-led organizations, and these are the things they tackle. GBV is very sensitive, and it is very, very key. It is hindering women from going to school, and it is also involving these bad cultures. So through these campaigns of awareness, we are able to cut down this program. It may be a campaign of 5, 10 years, whatever.
Yes.
But definitely we can always get back to it.
Okay.
So I think that is the key thing to carry out. And then also to look at also involving boys and girls, not only one gender.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
both sides,
yes.
to address this issue of girl child. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think finance would also be a problem at the moment? Do you think some ladies are not in school because of finance issues?
Yeah, finance could be, of course, one of the issues, because poverty is one of the things. You go to some families, they have single mothers today in different home states, and they're not able, they have like 2, 3 children whom they're not able to look after. And then perhaps still they could have a father and they feel like we are poor. Let's give away our daughter, for a month, so that we're able to raise and here and there. So these are some of the factors leading to that.
So what do you think we'll do about that, about the finance? Are you willing to pay anyone to school?
Well, we will talk about that the next time you host me.
Okay,
And I will
please, I'll note that. I'll call you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think finance is also an issue, because I've seen girls who at least try their best. They actually reach a certain level and it's really tough. They can't continue. So I think we would solicit for funds for them.
Yes, I remember.
Scholarships also.
Yes, scholarships is really a very, very great thing. And I must say, also awareness or having a knowledge about your right is important, because women have about 35% when it comes to services and all this. When they raise their voices, when they double their effort, they have some percentage. So it means if a woman is passionate and is hardworking, in most cases she can have an opportunity to do something compared to the gents.
Then there's an issue. There's some ladies, they just don't want to go to school. They feel like school is hard. Carrying 10 books, it is hard for some people. So what would you say about them? What would be your advice to them?
Well, my advice to such people is, nowadays we have the TVET program, which is the Technical Vocational Education
School.
Industry program. And here you can learn about a specific skill. It doesn't mean necessarily you need to go to school. I mean, we're in a time whereby skill is much more demanded.
Yeah, actually, like at the moment in South Sudan, do you actually believe mostly skills are more important than the theory?
Exactly.
Yeah, because we are a developing country.
Exactly.
We have manufacturing companies coming up, and we need more skills.
Definitely.
And we are lacking in so many fields.
Yeah, because as you see, most of the investment within are run by foreigners, and the nationals are lacking. So I think there is a need for the government to also support the nationals in that area, let them open in the training institutions so that they can have this kind of trainings. I've only known about one or two within Juba that does the vocational training. But there is need for more vocational trainings within the various parts of the country that involves both girls and boys.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So I actually think these vocation schools would be more in number than these other colleges, because you see that most of, let's talk about the married women. Some of them wouldn't want to attend primary, secondary, and then they would prefer something to do so that they come back home and attend to their families. And then what would you say about the girls who are married?
About the girls?
Yeah, do you think they should also go to school? They have an opportunity to study, or they shouldn't?
Well, I think education has no age limit. Anybody can go to school, regardless of how old you are. It depends on what you're trying to build up on. Education, when it comes to higher institution, it's about developing a particular skill that you are aimed at. You can, perfect something, and then you feel like this is what you want to build on.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Franco. We are going for a short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue with something more interesting.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back, viewers. We are still here and we are still continuing with our show, the Parani Talk Show. Well, Franco, there's something I forgot to ask you.
Yes, please.
Are you married?
Well, I'm not yet married.
Why?
I'm still trying to work on my personal life to ensure that, since we're talking about girl child, I do not want to bring somebody's daughter and she suffers right now, but I'm in the process.
Okay. I asked you that question for a reason. Yeah.
Okay.
It should be an example to all our young men. You're young, you're still capable, you're energetic. Everything you're rushing for is yours, so don't rush. You will get it at the right time, in the right place, and in the best structure you want it to be. So we are ending our show, and then I wanted to hear from you. What are the recommendations would you give our viewers so that they can also use it to help the community?
Okay. Well, as I give my recommendation, before I give my recommendation, first of all, I would love to say thank you very much for hosting me and for this interesting topic, because education is a pillar of this country. South Sudan is one of the youngest countries in the world, and when it comes to Africa, it's the youngest still, because in Africa we have over 54 countries, and we've just celebrated our independence. Therefore, there is much more need for education, to come up with the structures and all this. Therefore, I think there is really need for all institutions, private institutions, private sector, the government, to really invest in the education sector. That we're talking about, the vocational and also this other part of the education as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful discussion with you. Just back to my audience, just a little advice to my young girls. I'm not perfect. I don't even wish to ever be perfect. But there's one thing about being schooled. There's confidence. There's respect. There's fear. Because You walk with your papers, you wear your confidence. That is the only weapon you have. No matter how much beautiful you are as a lady, confidence is one thing you should always walk with. Your paper is your husband, is your mother, is your other father. Please struggle so hard to achieve something in life. Marriage is not the solution to all your problems. Your husband will not be the solution to all your problems. He also has a family to take care of. You also come from a family. If you cannot go to school because there's no money or anything, try something that you can do to earn a living from it. Viewers, this is our favorite show and it is called the Parani Talk Show. It's all about us. As Dungani, please keep the flag high, keep smiling, keep working hard, don't run from school, take people to school and we shall make a better living. Subscribe to our channel, the Parani Talk Show, and please hit on the like button so that you always get the best information and the best discussions from your favorite Zande youth as usual. It's your girl Jazela and Water. Okay, ganya Bruno Boyne Birani, Konada Kagia wena Pangmanga Birani, Nakabigoni when dog dena when parangaro gu program dole, only subscribe Korogania channel, Durogo YouTube, Facebook, Twitter na TikTok. Limoran Beshnikina Uli Gurenga, the Parani Talk Show. Okay, Franco, another Kaganyangada, Bawene Fugo, Mbaro, Tamba and Foro by the Bongoleni Gokaya Foro Mungaso. Munangera ni Bawene, Tamba and Foro keep Wogule, although we lost your father, he is still in our memories. Mupenga Nyangada Sambaro, Fuganya Bakumba, Anani, Devirani na Atamina Avra.
Gani ponga azane luto na kumeridio kando kuna jero yo jibake tamba froni ya wasa sipagupanga we ka dega turun ka jogo pa anape ka haneme si ngaki na gupani biparani ka pawja azande na ganishino gani manga pai fanya na sedesa de karuna do wirani sipagupanga we induka wiri ka pai na yesi di kaduni abra kumbatayo wana bikia hale aborokina ane menga gwade ni madunia memko gupanga induka wiri ka pai gani right honorable ane menga de nga jema nunu kumba gani a minister kino Merina Wai na kura kumwade dukino ni madunia aborana memko gupanga ga gida pai ane silika kida wirani do wirani ku school yo spokpanga we iduga na kurabani aboro niko jo gani ngaro kubatayo kiniji yura kama gaza na shina gaza nde mbatayo baka tambo he spokwa aboro ni yene miane kwane kinemi dubole wenga goni boro Franco Simon Bijige tambo he.
Thank you viewers for tuning into our show, the Parani Talk Show. Always catch us every Saturday. And please don't forget to subscribe to our social media handles. And I still remain your girl, Jazela Aniwote.